I thought I was going to talk a little bit about the recent scandal that we've been having here in Sweden, the IT security fiasco that might cost several ministers their jobs. Hopefully we're going to be free entirely from one of our weakest and most pathetic governments we've had in years, but it's going to be a press meeting tomorrow at 10, so I'm just going to give my thoughts on the matter in the meantime. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background. In 2015, the Swedish Transport Agency handed over its IT management to the company IBM. During that year, several laws that were in place in order to protect sensitive information were repeatedly broken against with the approval of the Swedish Transport Agency's director Maria Ågren. During the summer in 2015, the Swedish security police warns that the transfer of the IT management poses a very real security risk and that sensitive information might be handled poorly. In January 2016, an investigation is carried out against the acts of the Swedish transport director to see if she has risked leaking high-security information during the transfer. Our Interior Minister Anders Ygeman, aka one of the asshats who fucked up Sweden's police force, he gets informed about these leaks at this time, and our Minister of Defense Peter Hultqvist, he also hears about the problems. Then, in the beginning of January 2017, our Prime Minister Stefan Löfven and our Minister of Infrastructure Anna Johansson are informed as well. This shit started in 2015, and I'm now talking about events happening right now. I just want to put some emphasis on that, on the amount of time that has passed from 2015 up until now, with people knowing about this problem. Anyway, in the end of January this year, the Swedish Transport Agency director Maria Ågren gets fired and is to pay a fine for leaking the information. And it's about here it gets really messy. The Christian Democrat Mikael Oscarsson here chooses to file a report about the leaks to our Constitutional Committee, and the shit then, on a way more serious level, officially hits the fan. On the 19th of July, the Swedish newspaper Dagens Nyheter reports that among the leaks there is information which enables intrusions into the lives of private citizens who live with protected identity. Then on the 21st of July, the opposition parties collectively showed their support for the idea of setting up a vote in order to show their distrust for the current government. Thank you. About time. After several meetings where the Social Democrats invited the opposition parties still didn't think that the explanations/excuses that they were being given were sound, and they therefore proceeded to, on the 26th, to publicly state that they were planning on voting for censure against 3 ministers from within the Social Democrat cabinet. Now, where does this put our Prime Minister? Well, he's either going to have to drag some people up onto the chopping block or risk having his entire government razed to the ground. I, of course, hope for the latter, but I will settle for Ygeman. I've said this so many times already, so you guys must be tired of hearing me saying it by now, but I'm going to say it anyway. This government is historically weak and has done an insane amount of damage on this country as a whole. I sincerely hope that this fuck-up will be the last and the final nail in the coffin for this complete clown show of a government, and that we can as soon as possible get some real leadership in charge instead. Because this is the same virtue-signaling idiots who brought in 163,000 people during a single year to this country without a damned clue what to do with them when they actually got within our borders. It's the same imbeciles who allowed terrorists to come back home and lied to Iraqi security police so that the scum wouldn't be rightfully executed for their crimes. They've protected rapists, traitors, murderers, and now they're protecting each other. For several hours now, they've been hiding behind closed doors, most likely just trying to figure out a way of how to best conduct damage control, because they're not preparing themselves to own up to their own mistakes or admit fault. It's just going to be the very same cancerous, back-scratching nepotism that's defined their time at the steering wheel of this nation. I'm going to be very glad if we tomorrow at 10 o'clock hear that we've lost a couple of useless ministers in our useless government, but I'm going to be popping the champagne if we've also lost a Prime Minister. Fingers crossed, guys.